Kevin Hart. Now, you know when Cat Williams said gatekeepers?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, I do his, said whatever we want to do. He got us. He's going to partner executive use. They was like, oh, this is incredible because when you put Kevin Hart's name on it, you already call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky. And Dave Becky said Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. So whatever she told y'all, he doesn't want to do anything with her, nothing. You know, he doesn't want any.
Kevin Hart, now you know when Cat Williams said gatekeepers. Yes, Kevin Hart. I do his, podcast. Yes, Kevin Hart said, whatever we want to do. He got us, he's gonna partner executive views. They was like, oh, this is incredible because when you put Kevin Hart name on it, you already know what it is. Correct, we just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky, and Dave Becky said Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. So whatever she told, all he doesn't want to do anything with her, nothing. You know he doesn't want any kind of relationship with Kevin Hart. Has been the talk of the town lately, with comedians like Cat Williams taking shots at him left and right. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, Monique joined the fry, spilling the tea on how it seems like he's dancing to the tune of the powers that be so. What exactly did she say? I didn't ask Kevin Hart to do anything he said. I'll executive produce. I'll partner with you. I said, good Kevin, cuz we're in a deal with it. Monique prefaced her comments about Hart by admitting that he wrote a check to support her when she was down bad, and that she would be forever grateful for it, though she made a point to say that she paid it back with interest when the actress was a guest on Hart's podcast Comedy Gold Mines in 2021. He introduced her as an auntie, a mama, a spirit, and called her Mama Mo. She spoke on the podcast about Oprah Perry and Precious director Lee Daniels, who had not yet publicly apologized to her Hart. Said he'd reach out to Perry to coordinate squashing the beef, to which Perry was allegedly not amiable, but she said Hart promised her he would execute produce and partner with her on whatever she was working on, which excited her because she and Hicks were working on a talk show deal. Hart's manager, Dave Becky, allegedly told Monique's production company that Hart wanted nothing to do with her. I called Kevin Hart immediately and told him they said you didn't want to work with me. She said he said it. It's just a miscommunication. We're going to talk Tuesday. That was 2 years ago. I've never talked to Kevin Hart again. That's what we're faced with. You allow someone to come between your relationship with a woman you said was like your mother. The Harts and Perrys aside, at one point the Oscar winning actress had a few words for The Breakfast Club. The tension between Monique and The Breakfast Club played out during a contentious 2018 interview on the Power 105 radio program earlier that year. Charlemagne the God gave the comedian the donkey of the day for promoting a boycott of Netflix over racial and gender bias. And then you give me a title of donkey of the day. Is your mother still alive? Yes, Mom. And you're from what city in South Carolina? Moncks Corner, South Carolina. Moncks Corner. And if I was to call your mother or your grandmother, could they tell me stories of inequality people were having Collins when I said this is not right? I was donkey of the day. Remember that Monique asked Shannon Sharp on the Club Shay podcast. Mo also said the breakfast nubs called me the donkey of the day. That's what they said. And they had a whole call in about how I was the donkey of the day. But you didn't do the same thing when you found out we settled. We gave Monique big love when the Netflix special happened. Charlemagne the God stated on the latest edition of The Breakfast Club. He also added, and I said, you know what, that's why I need to mind my damn business. Business when it comes to other people's business. In June 2022, then co-host Angela Y covered Monique's finalized legal agreement with Netflix on The Breakfast Club. Charlemagne the God asked about the details of the settlement, but he did not comment further on the situation during that particular rumor report segment. Now, the weird thing about this is that Monique isn't the first person to expose Kevin Hart for allegedly being a power slave. You see, just a month ago, Cat Williams sat on the same seat on Club Shay podcast talking about Kevin Hart. Williams began by highlighting the astonishing trajectory of Kevin Hart's career in Hollywood, by first questioning the unprecedented speed with which Hart achieved success. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. Williams went on and suggested that Hart's rapid ascent was unusual, and posed the question of whether Hart had truly paid his dues in the competitive world of stand-up comedy. The comedian emphasized the significance of the journey, and questioned whether Hart's seemingly instant success was indicative of a different narrative. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA, and in his first year in law, he had his own sitcom on network television, and had his own movie called Soul Plan, that he was leading? No. In the interview Cat Williams introduced the term plan to describe someone who seemingly appears out of nowhere and attains success without the traditional struggles that comedians often face, and then claims they are self-made. Williams then drew attention to the fact that Kevin Hart's documentary with Chris Rock revealed his comedy roots on the East Coast. He pointed to a perceived contradiction in Hart's narrative, noting he just did his documentary with Chris Rock, where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast, so how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. Williams probed into the inconsistencies in Hart's story, challenging the widely accepted narrative of an overnight success. In any case, Kevin Hart also once addressed the rumors of his overnight success in 2014. Kevin Hart sat down with Oprah for an interview on Oprah Prime, where he delved into the intricacies of his skyrocketing career and the harsh realities of finding success in Hollywood. Hollywood has a way of making everything seem like an overnight success, Hart explained during the interview. But I've had 18 years in the business. I put in my time. I got dues that have been paid and paid again, and paid one more time after that. I stayed true to my dreams, and eventually they came true. Oprah pointed out the countless hard-working individuals striving to break into the industry and achieve success. She probed Hart on why he was able to do it, while so many others faced insurmountable challenges. The difference in me is that I paid attention to what people did before me, whether it was right or wrong. Hart reflected everybody that's successful lays a blueprint out. Not only did Hart pay attention, but even back in 2014, he surrounded himself with tangible reminders of those who paved the way for him. From Eddie Murphy to Chris Rock to Richard Pryor, the walls of his home adorned with pictures and paintings of comedians he considered mentors served as daily inspiration. I come down these steps every day. I look at Richard, he was great. I see Eddie, he was great. I see Chris Rock, he was great. Hart shared. It's a constant reminder, what am I trying to achieve? I want to be great, this unwavering motivation, as Hart expressed. In the interview was his belief in what set him apart in Hollywood. What separates me is my drive, he stated. My drive is other people's success anyway. Cat Williams didn't stop at questioning Kevin Hart's rapid rise. He also delved into the dynamics of Hollywood gatekeepers. Williams challenged the notion that there are no gatekeepers in the entertainment industry, asserting that he has observed individuals controlling access to opportunities. He used the example of Kevin Hart supposedly letting Tiffany Haddish into the industry, raising the question of whether gatekeepers do indeed exist. They tell you that there's no gatekeepers, but we keep seeing the same people open. Didn't Kevin open the Let Tiffany In, and he now opening it? Don't such? Cat Williams also addressed the issue of comedic stand ards during the interview. He explained that his refusal to compromise on certain content, specifically avoiding overtly homo's themes, had led to him losing out on opportunities. Williams argued that he wasn't against humor, but advocated for a more thoughtful and considerate approach to comedy that didn't rely on outdated and potentially offensive tropes. You see, Cat has a long history of calling out Hollywood elites and their shady ways of controlling black celebrities. In a 2013 interview with Black Tree TV, while discussing his role in Scary Movie 5, Cat delved into some interesting topics, including a theory about black actors being forced to wear dresses on screen in order to progress to the next level of fame. It's worth noting that this interview came out not long after Kevin Hart appeared on an SNL skit wearing a dress for context. It all started when Dave Chappelle, another revered comedian, appeared on Oprah's show in 2006, where he talked openly about his refusal to accept a $50 million deal from Comedy Central. He felt that such deals came with strings attached, and he was unwilling to be controlled or humiliated for the sake of a paycheck. Chappelle's revelations didn't end there. He recounted being asked to wear a dress for a movie scene, an experience that left him deeply uncomfortable. According to him, many comedians had faced similar situations having to don dresses on screen, and it often coincided with a critical juncture in their careers. This too was a no to the prevailing industry belief that black entertainers needed to cross this peculiar threshold to advance. Fast forward to 2012, when Kevin Hart was asked about Dave Chappelle's claims during a radio show. While he didn't explicitly say no to ever wearing a dress, Hart emphasized the importance of personal boundaries. He stated that crossing these boundaries was non-negotiable for him. You have to have boundaries. You have to have the minutes that you refuse to cross. He even cited examples of bizarre requests he had received, such as dribble